Hello everyone, I am Asha Bist. Hope you all are well at your home. Hope you all are safe. Today I welcome you all in class 6 Geography, the third chapter Motions of the Earth. In this video we'll be discussing the second part of this chapter. Before this we discussed the first part of it. While starting with the second part, let's have a quick revision of the first part. In the first part, dear students, we discussed about the two important motions of the earth, about the rotation and revolution. We also discussed the orbital plan, the circle of illumination. We had information about the leap year, the elliptical orbit also we discussed. Now today in the second part, we'll discuss some more facts about the motions of the earth. So let's begin. Summer solstice. The summer solstice is the longest day of the year. Solstices are opposite on either side of the equator. At the summer solstice, the sun travels the longest path through the sky, and that day therefore has the most daylight. When the summer solstice happens in the northern hemisphere, the north pole is tilted about 23.4 degrees towards the sun. Dear students, you will see that on 21st of June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. The northern hemisphere towards the north pole, it is tilted towards the sun. Because of that, the sun rays directly fall on the Tropic of Cancer. When it is tilted towards the north, the sun rays directly fall on the Tropic of Cancer. And due to that, what happens? When the sun rays directly fall on Tropic of Cancer, this area receives maximum heat. These areas, the areas which are near the poles, receives less heat. As the sun rays falls on Tropic of Cancer, they receive maximum heat, and towards the pole, they receives less heat. As a result, the rays of sun are slanting that point of time. The north pole is inclined towards the sun. It is a little inclined towards the sun, and the places beyond the Arctic Circle, which are above the Arctic Circle, experience continuous daylight for about 6 months. So 6 month days daylight as well as 6 month night. Since a large portion of the northern hemisphere is getting light from the sun, it is summer in this region north of the equator. It is summer in this region. It is summer in this region, as I said. The longest day and the shortest night at these places occur on which day? 21st of June. On 21st of June, the longest day as well as the shortest night takes place. At this time in the southern hemisphere, all these conditions are reversed, means they are opposite in the southern hemisphere. As I said that in the northern hemisphere, they observe on 21st of June the longest day and the shortest nights, and just opposite to that, the southern hemisphere observes the longest night and the shortest day. The nights are longer than the days. As I said that they have the reverse you can say condition there. This position of the earth is called the summer solstice. This is all the summer solstice. Now let's talk about, here is a diagram given. By watching this diagram, you can see or you can better understand the summer solstice. As I said that in the summer solstice, the sun rays directly fall on the Tropic of Cancer, and due to that, this area receives maximum heat and light, and due to that, they observe 6 month day and 6 month night. Now let's move further. We'll discuss here winter solstice. Winter solstice is the day with the shortest period of daylight and longest night of the year. When the sun is at its lowest daily maximum elevation in the sky, at the pole there is continuous darkness or twilight around the winter solstice, its opposite in the summer solstice. It means that on 22nd of December, the Tropic of Capricorn that receives direct rays of the sun. In the summer solstice, we discussed that the Tropic of Cancer receives the maximum daylight because the sun rays falls on that. But here in winter solstice, on 22nd of December, the Tropic of Capricorn receives the direct sun rays of the sun. As the south pole tilts towards the sun that point of time, as the sun rays falls vertically at the Tropic of Capricorn at 23.5 degrees south, a large portion of the southern hemisphere towards the south. With longer days, what they observe towards the southern hemisphere, they get light. Therefore, in the summer, the southern hemisphere with longer days and shorter nights. When in the summer they observe in the southern hemisphere, during summer they observe longer days and shorter nights. The reverse happens in the northern hemisphere. What happens in the southern hemisphere, just opposite to that takes place in the northern hemisphere. It means that in the northern hemisphere they observe longer nights and shorter days. The position of the earth is called the winter solstice. So what it is called? It is known as the winter solstice. Now, do you know that this happens? This is a phenomena which we are discussing here, that is the summer solstice and the winter solstice. It is due to the sun rays which falls whether on the Tropic of Cancer and on the Tropic of Capricorn. Now let's talk about, okay, here the diagram is given. You can understand the winter solstice by looking at this diagram, that during the winter solstice what happens, the sun rays falls on Tropic of Capricorn, and due to that the southern hemisphere they observe maximum heat and light, and because of that southern hemisphere observes longer days and shorter night, and it reverse happens in the northern hemisphere. They observe the longer nights and shorter days. Now what is equinox? Let's discuss about the equinox. An equinox is commonly regarded as the instant of time when the plane of Earth's equator passes through the center of the sun. This occurs twice each year around 20 March and 23rd of September. In other words, it is the moment at which the center of the visible sun is directly above the equator. The time or date twice each year at which the sun crosses the celestial equator when day and night are of equal length. You can understand it better by looking at this diagram. Dear students, on 21st of March and September 23rd, okay, these are the two dates. Here I have written 20 March, it is 21st of March and 23rd of September, the direct rays of the sun, they fall on equator. The sun rays directly fall on equator, and at this position neither of the pole is tilted. It is straight. It is not tilted towards the sun. The poles in this condition do not get tilted towards the sun. So the whole earth experience equal day and equal night. During equinox, the earth observes equal day and equal night. It happens because that time the earth is not tilted towards any of the pole. It is not tilted towards any of the pole. It is in a straight manner. That is why it observes equal days and equal nights. This is all called equinox. It is equinox. One important thing I would like to tell you about, that on 23rd of September, it is autumn season in the northern hemisphere and spring season in the southern hemisphere. And the opposite is the case on 21st of March, when the spring in the northern hemisphere they observe and autumn in the southern hemisphere. Thus we can say that there are days and night and changes in the seasons because of the rotation and the revolution of the earth. Okay, so these two motions of the earth are very important, because due to these motions day and nights occur as well as seasons change. So hope you understood the concept, hope you liked the video. If you are liking my videos, please keep on watching, and I would love to tell you to share my videos as well as subscribe to my channel. So we'll soon meet with some other videos. Till then, take care and have a good day.